What's up, friends? Rock Chalk Sports, another edition for you. With Dan Courtwright, I'm Sean Kellerman. Thanks for joining us. Got all sorts of content for you today on the show that we're going to get into. Got to open it up, though, talking KU basketball, knocking off Doug Gottlieb and the Green Bay Phoenix last night, 94-51. Talk about that here in the opening segment, plus some other interesting scores from the opening night of the college basketball season last night. Some good and some bad from the Big 12 Conference. We're going to hear from the Hall of Famer Bill Self next segment, post-game chatter. Of course, had to get past this one, get your first win, and now KU-UNC, a very, very big one Friday at 6 o'clock. Big in terms of Blue Bloods. Yes. Not necessarily big in terms of the season rides on this, but certainly want to go down there and beat them.
First time Kansas ever goes to Chapel Hill.
I couldn't believe it when I saw that.
That's actually
They
insane.
played away games against UNC in North Carolina, but not in Chapel Hill at the Dean
weird.
Dome. So it's very, very exciting.
Plus a lot of memorable postseason games as well, too, which that's probably the ones we remember.
Shout out to Shreyas Latta, by the way. He spent about a year when he was 1 year old living in Chapel Hill.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Henry Greenstein had a roommate that lived in Chapel Hill.
Really?
Let him tell you all about it.
Had a roommate that lived in Chapel Hill.
Well,
but Greenstein was living in California.
Roommate that was from Chapel Hill.
Okay. Makes more sense.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Greenstein is California through and through. So
as I understand it, though, you're going to be going to Chapel Hill. Is that correct?
You understand that correctly.
Yeah.
I will be running the operations for the
Are you
broadcast.
excited?
I am excited.
That's going to be cool.
I'm very excited. Yeah, the old Tobacco Road. Hopefully I get a chance to go across the street and check out Cameron Indoor as well at some point. But no, atmosphere I'm sure will be awesome. That's going to be Friday at 6 Central. Coverage on Sports Radio 810 WHB starts at 4:30 Central with the Crimson and Blue Show. Of course, you'll hear my voice as well as David Lawrence. We are going to, in the 5 o'clock hour, talk KU soccer after we hear from some football players, Bryson Canty, Lyrik, Rawls, and Leeroy Harris. KU soccer, what? That was the biggest win last night for KU athletics, right?
Huge.
They knocked off West Virginia, who was the 2 seed in the Big 12 tournament down in Fort Worth, 4-0. I mean, it was 1-0 throughout the majority of this game, but then late, KU ran away with it, got late goals. We'll update you on that. They're on to the semifinals as the 7 seed. Of course, last year they were the 6 seed, won the whole thing. And believe it or not, they're facing Colorado, who just beat them on Senior Day. Dan, Colorado was down at half, 2-0 to UCF. But, it'll be the 7 seed Hawks and the 3 seed Buffaloes in the semifinals. That'll be Wednesday night in Fort Worth. And then the championship will take place in Waco, which I thought was kind of strange.
Yeah.
But that's going to be on Saturday, so I don't really know the science behind that. But anyway, KU Soccer will precede our Top 10 Tuesday segment, Daniel.
Yes, we're doing a very special Top 10. Sean, I'm glad you said you
Yes.
Man.
They stopped being special at one point.
So this was special because you thought of it. I'm doing my top 10 things that I would do the day after I got fired as a head coach.
This is back-to-back weeks that you just had to. The
well
well has just completely dry.
Yeah, I mean, I have a
Some
bunch
fallbacks.
on here, but that was
bad.
such a good idea. I decided, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and run with that one because there's been a lot of coaching changes in football, and a lot of them with some pretty substantial buyouts. So I'm doing my top 10 things that I would do if I got fired as a head coach, with a pretty good buyout, I guess. The stipulation is that I'm still rich and I got fired.
Somewhere between Trent Dilfer and James Franklin.
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah, right.
Somewhere between 2 and 50 million.
Yes,
we'll
exactly.
call that fair enough. And then after Top 10 Tuesday, we're going to hear some post-game sound from KU players Flory, Bidunga, and Melvin Council Jr. They were at the podium. Then we're going to close out the show hearing from Lance Leipold. I mean, we got everybody today. Coach Leipold spoke at his press conference yesterday, so we will hear from KU's head football coach. And then we're going to talk Chiefs. We had so much to get through, Daniel, yesterday with it being game day and talking KU Oklahoma State homecoming that we didn't get to talk about the goings-on in the Empire State on Sunday.
Didn't really want
when
to.
The Chiefs lost. Mahomes, not very good. Josh Allen, good. Regular season, where have you heard that before?
Yeah, right.
I'm sure you saw Nick Wright's banners that he dropped. One of them was congrats to the Bills on winning their 5th consecutive Super Bowl. And one of them was Josh Allen consistently outplaying Mahomes when it matters least.
Yes,
so,
I love that.
Yeah, we'll
talk Nick Wright.
Talk about that just a little bit at the end of the show today. But, let's get into this game last night over at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. KU 94, Green Bay 51. My big takeaway from this is the first half, Kansas had two players who are supposed to be the best two players on the court performing like the best two players on the court. Darren Peterson and Flory Bidunga. We talk a lot about, for lack of a better way of putting it, the auxiliary pieces on this team and how important they're going to be. That is very true. What's also true is that the success that Kansas is going to have this season is dependent on Darren Peterson and Flory Bidunga heavily. And they were just balling in the first half. DP ends up getting 20 plus points in just over 20 minutes. He ended, I believe, with 21 points in 22 minutes. Flory Bidunga had a career-high 23 points. He hit 5 of 6 from the free throw line as well. He hit his first 9 shots from the field, so that was great to see. But you saw Peterson going to the basket. You saw Peterson hitting threes. You saw Flory rolling to the basket. You saw Flory posting up deep. Those were the best two players on the court, Dan. And as we talk about the importance of the other players, which they are very important, it's a good kind of reminder, hey, this team is dependent on these guys. These guys are really, really good. And it was nice seeing KU just completely blow the doors off an opponent.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's two ways you can look at this, right? It's incredibly thankful to have Darren Peterson on the squad, but then also, we saw him leave the game relatively early, and Bill Self said after the game that, look, it was a combination of we just didn't need him anymore, and also, he said he felt some of those stomach cramps kind of coming on, right? So you hate to be so dependent on one particular player in Darren Peterson. And I want to talk about the good things because there were a lot of really good things that we saw out of this game, right? Melvin Council, I thought, had another tremendous game. He had 10 points, but everything else that Melvin Council does out there on the court is just, the way that he hustles, the way that he plays defense, the way that he gets down the court, the way that he battles through transition, right? I mean, Melvin Council has been incredible. He even said it himself that he's the leader of the team, which Bill Self kind of scoffed at. And
emotional leader.
His post game, yes, emotionally. But with Flory playing the way that he did, you feel a lot better, right? Because this is something that you have to potentially worry about anytime you have a player who is a high volume guy like Darren Peterson is. Well, what happens if he goes down? Well, the way that Flory Bidunga played yesterday, which granted it was against a terrible Green Bay team who lost their best player and they still only won 4 games last year. Flory played excellent, right? 9 for 11 from the field. I mean, shooting the ball absolutely lights out. Everything was underneath. He looked like he had added some things to his post moves as well. That was something that I had talked about against Fort Hays State even, is the fact that Flory needs to, A, get bigger and stronger, and B, work on his post moves. And I think that just within, I don't know if he took that much of a leap and bound from the Fort Hays State game to the Green Bay game, but it's apparent that he's been working on it, right? I think you're seeing a lot more stuff where he keeps the ball higher, away from everybody, right? Or he, takes it low and does a spin and kind of goes a little up and under. I think that the post move, the bag is continuing to increase for Flory.
And that's something that Coach Self has said he needs to get better at. And say what you will about Hunter Dickinson, he's maybe an opposite player of Flory, maybe not polar opposites, but Hunter Dickinson was so big and so tall that he would be able to get deep post moves, and that's how he would score 33 points a game against Arizona on senior day. Situations like that.
Well, Hunter would also, I mean, it's such a simple thing, but Hunter would also, he would get a rebound and he would keep the ball.
And he's 7'2". He's a little bit taller than Flory, obviously.
He wouldn't take it down.
But Flory, to me, to your point, he came out focused and angry after his game against Fort Hays State. He wasn't the worst game anybody's ever had. It just wasn't a dominant performance against a Division II school. And this was a situation where Green Bay, they only won 4 games last year. They're slightly a step up, you would say, from Fort Hays State. It's a regular season game, so it means more. Man, Flory looked so focused. And again, as I was watching that game, I was like, this is kind of how you draw it up in your head, right? As a KU basketball fan, all this offseason chatter about, oh my God, we got Darren Peterson, and then we got Flory Bidunga. We want him. We need him to be one of the best players in the country. I'm watching that first half. I'm like, this is what we envisioned.
Yeah.
Like Peterson kind of taking control of everything. And yes, we understand the opponent isn't very good, but working with Flory denying shots at the rim, Peterson getting out in transition is funny because Peterson had the 1 turnover. KU ends up, by the way, only with 3 turnovers.
Yeah.
Peterson has the 1 turnover, and
he immediately got it back.
Immediately gets it back. So DL and I were joking in the postgame locker room show last night about how I don't remember who the kid was on Green Bay who stole the ball from Peterson.
Yeah.
But he'll tell his grandkids one day that he
Yeah.
stole the ball from Peterson, and then he'll just end the story right there. Like you've got 1 second where you could just end the story. You don't, because if you continue the story, then
great.
Peterson's already stolen it back. But
Right.
No, I mean Peterson just we saw everything. Like I said, he's hitting threes. He at one point just got past his defender and dunked it.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh my God. I mean, he will, and Bill Self said it best. We're going to hear from Bill Self later in the show. Bill Self said it best. He makes it look easy, right? I mean, it's
so comfortable. It's so slow motion.
It's almost poetic to watch him play basketball. The way that just he doesn't look like he's forcing anything. He himself is very, calm mannered, and it looks almost unfair. Now, granted, it's Green Bay, right? I mean, it practically is unfair to have a future number 1 overall draft pick in the NBA playing against a team who won 4 games in the Summit League last year, right? So it is a little bit unfair, but the way that he plays basketball, I have personally never seen it. Doug Gottlieb even said on Twitter later after the game, he said it's the closest thing he's ever seen to Kobe. Right, in terms of the way that he plays, the style that he plays in, and I think he probably passes it more than Kobe, but at the same time, it's like he is going. You can just see it right now. You can absolutely see it that he's going to be the guy, and it. The stomach bug thing or the cramps thing is a little bit concerning. I want to talk about some other guys as well, because we saw a number of different players get some rotation, right? Because that's what happens in some of these games. And Bill Self, again, he was trying things out, right? We saw a setup there with Flory and Bia on the court at the exact same time, right? It didn't go very well. I believe the scoring differential was like 7-5, so not exactly great. Bia still needs to continue to grow and continue to develop, because I don't think he's there yet. We're seeing that exact same problem that Flory had early in his career when he would grab the rebounds and then bring the ball down. It's like, now, dude, you're 7'2", like just grab the ball, keep it here, put it back up. So we saw a little bit of that. El Marco, I thought, it didn't have a tremendous game. We saw Jamari McDowell actually kind of step up in this one as well. Made a couple, made a 3 and made a couple of tough shots here and there. And I thought he did a really good job.
If he can come in and play 8 to 10 minutes and go 1 of 2 from 3, and play good defense, then
that's what he does. I mean, he's a shooter, right? That's basically, when you look at Jamari McDowell, you're like, okay, well, what does he do well, right? He's not the best dribbler on the team. He's a good dribbler, but he's not the best dribbler on the team, not the best passer on the team. But he's good at shooting.
If he could be a good shooter, like high 30% threes, and a good defender, that's all this team needs from him.
Right.
If he's going to shoot 30% from 3, being average out there, then that's not great. But as you continue to kind of go through some of the guys, certainly there's room for debate's probably too strong of a word, but room for chatter about the wings on this team. And I'll let you continue before we open it up on that front.
Well, I wanted to talk about some of the wings. The 2 guys who I've been relatively disappointed in, it has been Rosario, which you can tell he's just so athletic and just so raw. It's just not fully there yet. He's like 85, like 80 to 85% there. But in terms of on the offensive side of the ball, it's just not there, right? I mean, going into halftime, he was our leading rebounder, right? Flory only had 1 rebound the entire first half. Rosario had 4. 3 of them were offensive.
And I love that. I love that. That's one of the things that drew a comparison to Christian Brown, is that CB always went after the offensive glass. So while he hasn't shot it well the 3 games that we've seen, one of which has counted, he always is attacking the rim. So I think that, he's going to be one of the guys that fans really like because of that tenacity.
For sure. And I want to talk about Jaden Dawson, because Jaden Dawson, he went 1 for 5 from the field in 11 minutes, hit a 3, which is okay, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. I personally expected more from him. I thought that he was really going to be... Now, granted, I think at the beginning of the year, I might have said that he was going to be coming off the bench, or actually, I might have said he was going to be starting, and Melvin Council was going to be coming off the bench. I think was my initial
A lot of people had him penciled in as a starter, and now you're not totally sure where he'll be. I'm glad he hit that 3 at the end, because he was coming out of the game on the next dead ball either way, and he had missed his first 4 threes. We've talked about this a lot, and he's one of those important pieces. Coach Self has said multiple times, Rosario and Dawson, guys who haven't shot it well so far in the exhibition and last night included, they got to be guys to hit threes.
Yeah.
And then if they don't hit threes, then maybe Jamari McDowell does get more minutes. McDowell's been out there earlier than probably a lot of fans expected in terms of, second guard off the bench or whatever he's been. But if he can hit threes, that would be big. But yeah, just 2 of 11 from Dawson and Rosario shooting threes. That's what they need to do well.
Right.
Rosario does provide a little bit of an element of attacking the basket and being a good offensive rebound. Dawson right now, it's too early to tell, but still, he is potentially still trying to figure out his role, and I think fans are still trying to figure out his role as well. It's just like, where does he fit? Is he going to be eventually the sixth man off the bench who comes in and hits threes? Well, he's going to have to pass some guys in the rotation if that happens.
Right.
And is he going to be able to contribute in other ways other than shooting? Because we saw with guys like Nick Timberlake was brought in to hit threes, and I think Dawson will be a better shooter than Nick Timberlake. But Timberlake didn't really provide much else, right? So it's like, if he wasn't hitting shots, what's he doing?
Well, also there were stretches there where we had Nick Timberlake playing the power forward position, where he just was kind of forced into that, which is just not where he plays. But I think that's actually a really good comparison, is Nick Timberlake to Jaden Dawson, where both of them coming from a relatively smaller school, known for their 3-point shooting. And that's the point of these initial games, is to basically just get guys confidence, right? And I think, there's so much pressure probably on some of these guys because, hey, look, they weren't recruited by KU out of high school, right? They were recruited by smaller schools. They went to Loyola Chicago, right? St. Bonaventure, whatever it may be. Now Melvin Council is different because I think that he's got the personality to be able to fit and actually become a leader on this kind of squad. But with Jaden Dawson, I bet there is a little bit of pressure and just nervousness, right? Coming off the bench, expected to hit threes, and just having to kind of get that monkey off your shoulder. And I think hitting that 1-3 that he did, I'm glad that he did that, because now he's got a feel for it. Now he goes, all right, well, I hit my first one. Now let's sort of lock in and focus. I don't know what his role is necessarily going to be. I don't know how many minutes he's going to play against UNC, but hopefully he did get that monkey off his shoulder, and hopefully he is going to continue to get better throughout the year.
He had 3 rebounds, so we should point that out. Also, Samis Calderon played
10 minutes.
So I think everybody can see his length and the ceiling that he's going to have. Everybody played except for Corbin Allen, who Bill Self has said is going to redshirt. So don't anticipate any other redshirts this season. But there's a lot we can get into. We can break down everybody's line score and all that. But just holistically, yes, KU did have some blowout wins last year. They blew out Brown before Christmas. They blew out Furman at one point in November. I want to say they blew out Howard. I think that was the first game of the year as well. So maybe I shouldn't get too excited, but it just feels like this team is going to put teams away earlier than last year's team did. Like, last year's team was a lot of pulling teeth just to get separation, and then it gets to a point where, they're still in it, and then all of a sudden West Virginia beats you at home. And I just like this roster a lot. I've continued to talk about that, and I will. I think that Bill Self and the coaching staff did an unbelievable job putting these pieces together. Granted, a lot has to go right for KU to make a deep run. They're going to have to hit outside shots. But if it looks like it did yesterday when Peterson and Bidunga were both out there, that's how we drew it up months ago as fans, right? And it's easier said than done, but that's what we're looking at. And, KU, go through some of the numbers. They hit 75% of their free throws. They shot 57% from the field. They were plus 18 on the rebounds. I mentioned just having 3 turnovers, 17 points off turnovers as well, which is really impressive since Green Bay only had 8. KU found a way to be really efficient on that front. 38-16 in the paint. All of that. Get through this one. Gottlieb had some good quotes. You mentioned the tweet about Kobe. He also said that, just spoke very highly of Allen Fieldhouse in general. And one of his players, in fact, Marcus Hall, his best returning player who had 17 points, said at the podium post-game, I've played at Iowa State, I've played at Ohio State. And he said, it's just different.
Yeah.
And that's music to my ears.
Which, by the way,
sure.
I was actually really pleased with the way the crowd was, right?
I wanted to shout them out. They got the shorts on backwards chant in.
It was great.
And the Rock Chalk chant started at an appropriate time and continued. It seems like they're getting, also, I just in general, before the chants, in general, you walk in and you just feel it. It felt different than Fort Hays, right?
Yes.
It's like, there's a buzz in here. Guys are ready. And when they were playing the hum at the under 4 timeout, student section was still pretty full.
Yeah.
Guys are still going crazy. We're up by 34 or 36 or whatever it was. So
Right.
yeah, I do want to shout those guys out. So
Yeah.
that was a nice victory and a nice atmosphere for KU to open it up. Next game at Allen Fieldhouse will be a week from tonight against Texas A&M Corpus Christi, but of course take on the Tar Heels Friday at 6 at their place. Other scores in the Big 12: Cincinnati blew out Western Carolina. Iowa State blew out Fairleigh Dickinson. Houston over Lehigh 75-57 at the Fertitta Center. Baylor beat Rio Grande by 15. Noteworthy scores: TCU loses at home to New Orleans 78-74. Bad start for Jamie Dixon's squad. And then one of the games of the night was in Vegas, number 13 Arizona over number 3 Florida, the reigning national champs, 93-87. Koa Pete went off. One of many great freshmen in this class. UCF squeaked past Hofstra by 4. Colorado squeaked past Montana State by 6. Utah squeaked past San Jose State by 9. And then BYU, ranked number 8 in the country, got a fight from Villanova, but won 71-66 in the nightcap in Vegas. So a lot of good action, and there's more action tonight in the top 25 in the Big 12. West Virginia hosts Mount St. Mary's. Number 10 Texas Tech hosts Lindenwood. K-State hosts Greensboro. Oklahoma State hosts Oral Roberts in a Bill Self revenge game. And then Arizona State hosts Southern Utah tonight. So yeah, good action and a good start for KU. Great win for Arizona, winning a top 5 battle already.
Yeah, Koa Pete, man, what a guy. I was gonna bring this up. This isn't Big 12 news at all, but Boise State lost to Hawaii Pacific. Their college is in an abandoned strip mall.
That's a bad loss.
Isn't that insane?
That's a bad loss.
At Boise State. It's unbelievable. I'll go more in depth on it, maybe on Sports Stock Market.
Other noteworthy games: Auburn got 28 points rather, from Keyshawn Hall. They survived in overtime against Bethune-Cookman 95-90. A lot of blowouts, as you'd expect elsewhere in the top 25. And first night, Louisville, by the way, won by 59. They defeated South Carolina State 104-45. So good action the first night of college basketball. KU starts 1-0 and now a blue blood battle. Are they the bluest of the blue bloods? I think maybe they are.
Well, North Carolina just beat Central Arkansas 94-54. So
yeah, good start for UNC. They're 1-0 as well. But yeah, again, coverage will start on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 4:30 on Friday, 6 o'clock. Tip KU and UNC. We're going to hear from Bill Self after last night's victory. Next segment here on KansasNation.com. Thanks for watching Rock Chalk Sports.
This is Daniel Highshaw, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Fun night at Allen Fieldhouse last night, with many more to come, I'm sure, as KU knocked off Green Bay 94-51. That's 53 straight home opener wins for KU, all 23 since Coach Self has been here. Let's hear from the Hall of Famer postgame.
Have at it. But what did you just think of the overall defensive intensity you guys showed tonight?
I thought it was pretty good early. I don't think it was as good second half, but I thought the first half was pretty good. They scored on some plays late or broken plays, which I thought we defended them pretty well, pretty soundly. Made some mistakes switching, which we switched a ton tonight. But all in all, better than what it was, I think, in the first 2 games. Hey, Jim.
Just talk about Peterson's debut, what you thought about his effort tonight.
Well, he was good. Obviously the first half, he was, just scores easy. Makes it look easy. But yeah, he was really good. And once again, we couldn't really play much second half at all. So, but I thought he was good. I thought Flory was good, and I thought Melvin was good. I thought we had 3 guys play really, really well.
Did he not play much in the second half because of cramps or the score or a combination?
Probably a combination, but definitely, it was bothering him. He said he felt it coming on. So no reason to. We need to practice tomorrow. So hopefully we can get him out there for practice tomorrow. But yeah, that was the primary reason. If it had been a closer game, I'm sure he would have tried to go back out there.
And Doug Gottlieb said he looks like he didn't even break a sweat. Just talk about how effortless he makes the game look.
Yeah, well, he makes the game look easy. It's not that easy, but the first half he was playing downhill, and he played really well and didn't make shots. You know, you know, he's a good player. His poise is well beyond his years, without question. And you know, teams will do a good job guarding him. He'll have off nights, and that stuff's going to happen. He's young, but he's about as mature as any 18-year-old around anywhere, I would say.
Flory said that he's been watching a lot of film from the last couple games to kind of just see what he can do differently on the offensive end. Have you seen the growth in him in the low post since from last year to even now?
I really don't think that Flory was given as much in the low post at all until you know, in the last, since Fort Hays State, we've made an emphasis that our big guys don't play big like they need to, and you know, he got the ball in tight and made some shots without bouncing it and played to his length, and yeah, he was a lot better today. Yeah, a lot better, and he made his free throws.
Where do you feel like, I guess Cole and Jaden specifically are at with their confidence shooting?
I thought, you know, bottom line is, you know, you shouldn't coach shooting. You know, I don't get on to them for missing. You know, I get on to them if they don't take it, that kind of stuff. But let's just be real. Those two, one of their primary roles is to be a threat and stretch it and everything. So they've got to shoot it better, and I think they will. But certainly, the inconsistency that we've seen so far could be a positive, because we've actually performed, you know, okay, not making shots, but we're so much better, and the court's so much more spread and more driving angles and all that stuff. If we can just start making, you know, we should be about a 37% 3-point shooting team, and obviously, even though it probably ended up being that tonight, it didn't feel like we shot it that well.
Hey, Bill, from the perimeter, where do you sit with Flory attacking the basket downhill? He did it a couple times tonight. Do you want to do more of that?
Anything that's aggressive, putting pressure on the defense, yeah, I'm all for that all the time. Now, you said attacking the basket. You didn't say jump shots. Right. And you know, if he can attack the basket and then pull up and shoot that little 6 to 8 foot jump shot, great. And he actually made one of those tonight. But for the most part, he needs to play downhill. He needs to get fouled. He needs to want to get fouled. And we'll be so much better when he's like that. And he was like that tonight.
What did you see to Bryson Tiller in his time comparatively to the 2 exhibition games?
I thought Bryson did fine. I still think he can play so much bigger. You know, he's playing the 5, and you know, it could be a ball screen and run to the rim guy, and he wants to pop all the time. You know, stuff like that. He can certainly play more physical, but Bryson's a good player. I think he's played pretty well, but I don't think anybody has played at a level that you know, we should be content with. But I'd say Bryson's been a plus. He's been a bonus so far. But still, we got to play bigger. Our bigs have to play bigger.
Are you looking forward to such a big game Friday, the second game of the season?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know that we'll be ready to play, but I bet Hubert will say the same thing about Carolina. You know, it's just so early to play a game like that. But didn't we play them second game last year? And it turned out to be a fantastic game. So we'll be excited. It'll be a unique atmosphere. We're taking new guys, and we'll see. We'll find a lot about ourselves Friday. But I think it should be exciting to get out there and kind of see where we're at. You know, college basketball this year seems like to me more great matchups early than I can remember. I mean, some fantastic ones, and of course you saw one tonight, big boy game. You know, Arizona had a freshman go for 30, big boy game. And that also tells you a little bit where our league is. Where was Arizona picked in our league? Fourth, and just beat the defending national champs on a neutral floor. So our league's going to be a monster, but that was a huge win. I'll be excited to watch it at some point in time. But these early season matchups like this are good for our game.
It looks like everybody played, so was it a difficult decision to not redshirt anybody?
Everybody didn't play. Corbin didn't play.
I mean, well, you're already against him, sorry.
Yeah, no. You know, in today's world with the NIL and all that stuff, you know, you redshirt somebody and they could just as easily be transferring, going somewhere else next year. And then I'd like to kind of see what we got in many ways. If it's best for them over time to redshirt them, I totally get it. But if it's a coin flip right now, I think I'll err on the side of playing them more so than maybe what I have in the past. Like Zach Clemens last year. Zach pulled his groin and didn't play, and it was in his best interest not to play. There's no doubt about that. That was the best interest in him. But looking back now, should we have? He was never 100%, so he couldn't be out there. But that's a tough decision now, knowing that you redshirt a guy. There's a 50-50 chance he's going to probably leave anyway. So you're not going to get the benefit of coaching him another year.
So much talk about Darren and his offense and how it looks easy. What do you make of his defense? I mean,
I think he could be great defensively.
Is he there yet?
Could be. It's like the hashtag potential means it's not happened yet.
Sure.
But I think he could be great defensively.
What do you like about him? What makes you say that?
Well, he can slide. He's long and smart and can play can play lanes. He gets it. But there's a lot of things about him also that I think he can certainly develop more on that end than what we've seen so far. But in order to do that, he's got to, we got to figure this other incident.
It looks like he enjoys it. Is that a correct read? Does he like playing D?
I think he loves playing.
Yeah.
And last I checked, that's 50% of it out there. So he loves playing.
Melvin said, "I'm the leader of this team."
Oh my God.
Is he the guy that you go to be a leader amongst his peers?
You know what? He's right on this front. He's the emotional leader. He's the energy leader. So he what he said is accurate. Nobody gives us more than him, and it's contagious more with him probably than anybody else. But there's different areas in which you can lead. I actually agree with Mel in that one area, but he's got we've all got a long ways to go to be a quarterback on a final drive under 2 minutes. There's still a ways to go for everybody in that realm.
What'd you think of the crowd response to G getting in the game and hitting that three?
Amazing. Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought G actually, 2 free throws on net and make a three. I thought he's good. He tries hard. He's just not very big, as you guys seen. They posted him a couple of times, and he mauled the guy. Illegal in 7 states, mauling him down there trying to guard him. But he's a great kid. Collectively, that's 55 years of life out there between he and the kid from the Navy. But he's only a sophomore. He's going to graduate at age 31. Where G, he's going to have to get out of here at 26 or 27. But I love the kid. And he'll be a fan favorite just because of his size.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right.
That's Bill Self post-game, KU 94, Green Bay 51. Dan?
Yeah, I mean, he seemed relatively happy, right, with the defensive effort, I guess. Not super happy with kind of the shooting from around the arc. And he even brought that up about how, he doesn't really coach shooting, right? He coaches, to make sure the guys get open to shoot. They don't really coach shooting, and he expects those guys to make those shots, which I think, kind of tells you a lot about some of these guys. It's the things that you do outside of shooting the basketball from a 3-point line that really is going to earn your playing minutes. And I think that's really important. But I don't know about you. I've been watching KU basketball a long time. Is this maybe the most relaxed you've seen Bill Self in press conferences and just kind of around his guys? And he seems like he's in like a really good place right now, I think.
For sure. I think he knows he's got a good team. And, it was interesting last night because he's so good at picking out spots, even in a blowout win, where KU can be better.
Yes, yeah.
And you could just kind of tell there's just not a lot bad from last night.
He was racking his brain.
We had 3 turnovers, and he said, hey, yeah, I mean, Peterson and Flory and Council, they all played really well. And, was it perfect? No. But certainly a lot to like from last night's game. After this, we're going to hear from some KU football players as Bryson Canty, Lyrik, Rawls, and Leeroy Harris will close out the victory from Saturday's game against Oklahoma State with some post-game audio, plus some KU soccer chatter as well. Top 10 Tuesday coming up at the top of the hour. Thanks for watching KansasNation.com.
I'm Justice Finkley. You're watching KansasNation.com. Rock Chalk.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com. Going to hear from a few Jayhawks post-game. The football victory on Saturday over Oklahoma State, a victory on the 113th homecoming here at KU. First, we're going to hear from Bryson Canty, a guy that we have talked about a lot throughout the season. Only a couple catches, but we're going to get excited about that either way. First catch was a strange play. I mean, I felt like I was hallucinating there for a second because
I thought it was picked.
I thought it was picked as well, and went through the outstretched arms of the defender. Canty made a catch and then found himself open for a second catch for a touchdown. But he just looks a little bit more athletic, a little bit different than some other options that KU has there. But if you've got Emmanuel Henderson with the speed, and defenses have been eyeing on him, Cam Pickett also very quick and a guy you can hand the ball off to, and a possession-type receiver, as we expected he would be. But then Canty, just another athlete on the outside. If you can get him healthy, that's another weapon.
Right, and I think Coach Z brought it up today. I think Coach Leipold brought it up yesterday about how this is the healthiest that Bryson has been since he's arrived on campus. And if he had been healthy this entire time, he very much could be in the conversation of being that number 1, number 2 kind of guy. And we're starting to see him kind of emerge. I really like the way that he runs his routes. He's got really, really good hands. He's a smart ball player as well. He understands how to find those soft spots in those zones. I mean, obviously he's smart. He's an Ivy League grad, right? So you'd certainly hope that he was smart. But yeah, I mean, look, Bryson Canty, I think if he continues to stay healthy, Kansas has got a fighting chance in these last 3 games to even go 3-0 with the wide receiver core that they have, with the continued chemistry being built. The chemistry is there, but it can always be improved upon in terms of, knowing where the quarterback wants you to go, knowing, what routes to run, understanding the playbook even farther, right? So I think Bryson Canty has been really diving into the playbook. Zabrowski said that earlier today, and it showed, right? Only 2 receptions for 29 yards. Both of them came up huge against Oklahoma State.
Well, and KU only had 110 passing yards
right
total. They didn't need the passing game too much in that victory over the Pokes. But let's hear from Bryson Canty, the Columbia transfer, after KU's win on Saturday.
What do you think of Jalen? 6 drives, 6 scores. I mean, isn't that perfection? How can the coaches complain?
Nah, I feel you. Nah, Jalen, I've said this before, but up to this point in my life, that's the most talented quarterback I've ever had the honor of playing with. He's a great leader on and off the field, and he makes it easy. He threw me a perfect back shoulder ball. All I had to do was open up.
Is he one of the reasons you came here?
Absolutely.
Really?
I remember
you knew about him?
Oh, yeah. I sat down with my old OC at Columbia, Coach Saitu. We got on PFF, and we was just watching his reps. And I saw, the first 3 passes, and I was like, I want to play with that guy.
How late in last season did you know you were coming? I mean, that you wanted to play with Jalen? Was it during the season or?
So I think I hopped in the portal either right before our last game or after that. So when KU offered, obviously I know I'm a guy who only has 1 year left, so
yeah.
I like to pay attention, make a good choice about where I'm going. Got to have a quarterback, and who else but number 6. So.
Is this the healthiest you've felt since you've gotten to Kansas?
Oh yeah, absolutely. After coming back from the injury, shout out to the training staff. They definitely helped me with rehab and all that, getting back to it. But now, thank God, I've had no problem. So I'm feeling good, ready to go, finish out the season strong.
What did it feel like to get in the end zone?
That feeling is always different. I can't really have words to describe it, but other than say I was ecstatic, and it was good. I feel like I felt the love from all the boys coming back on the sideline, dapping me up, telling me congratulations. I feel like they wanted it for me just as bad as I wanted it.
What was the message from Leipold at halftime, right? You're
only up 10-7, right, against a bad Oklahoma State team. You come out and just absolutely dominate that second half. What was his message that kind of changed everything for you guys?
I think just to stay level, don't get too up or too down. I feel like at certain points in the season, we've gotten a little bit ahead of ourselves, or we maybe been a little too hard on ourselves. But I think he's trying to stay consistent, and he was preaching to everybody, just do your job, do your assignment, and then man for man, I think we're a good football team, and we should be able to handle our assignments and succeed.
Expecting a lot of big things from Bryson Canty the rest of the way. 3 tough games, but 3 winnable games for this KU program, who's just 1 win away from bowl eligibility. It was a Lyrik Rawls revenge game as he went against Oklahoma State, his former team, on Saturday. Let's hear Lyrik post-game.
Lyrik, just talk about the emotions. Obviously, a revenge game for you. You probably know still a lot of those guys. Just talk about the emotions going in.
You know, like I was already excited to see when I first seen them on the schedule, and it was homecoming. I was like, that's like a double homecoming for me.
Right.
So like just to get ready to go back out there and play against those guys, you know, it was a lot of emotion and excitement.
You had a chance for a pick too. You tell you wanted it. I mean, how bad do you want that just to get a pick against your
I'm still sick
team?
about it. Like I'm still having black lashes in my head. Like man, like what more could I? Like I should have took some more steps toward the ball or drove the man more. Like. That one's still on me, man. It's going to be on me all night.
Did you talk any trash to any of your old teammates?
Oh, every chance I got to, I was trying to just, you know, I wanted the game to be exciting and thrilled, so, like, I made sure I said something to everybody.
Of course, right. I noticed you guys did a good job of matching up against some of their pre-snap motion stuff. How difficult was it to kind of prepare for that? Because they obviously went through a couple of different coaching changes, a couple of different play calling changes. Just talk about the difficulty of kind of preparing for a game like this.
I really say it started with the game prep of the week. Like, we know we got, like, some calls that we know our bread and butter. So, like, we just knew that we get the base down and everybody do their job, we'll be good.
Okay.
That's Lyrik Rawls postgame. Just unbelievable questions asked to Lyrik Rawls.
I know.
I mean,
whoever was asking him.
doing the Lord's work.
I know.
Whoever was talking to Lyrik
I asked him
Rawls
if he was
really,
talking
really
trash.
impressed.
He said he was talking trash every chance that he got on his former team.
Yeah.
He's still good friends with a lot of those guys. So, but it was all in good fun, which I loved.
Dean Miller, who is our next guest on J School Jayhawks, which is a cool segment that we're doing on KansasNation.com, and we'll play that for you a little bit later in the week. He sat down with Emma Noble. He said Lyrik Rawls, when asked about who's got the best diets on the team. So I think I need to take a page or two out of his book.
Interesting.
Because
Okay.
I could use.
And he looks good.
My diet could, as they say, find God at some point. Been a little rough recently. A guy who has needed to put on a lot of weight and has done so. He's got an NFL frame, NFL skill set, is Leeroy Harris, and he had that big blocked field goal heading into halftime that preserved KU's 10-7 lead on Saturday. Leeroy Harris, we knew that we were going to say his name a lot this season, and hopefully he's really, really impactful the final 3 games. Here's Leeroy postgame.
Yeah. Right hand. Okay. And you feel it. Yeah. What's it feel like when the ball hits you?
It's like, oh, I got it. It's like low kick, yeah.
No sting.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. They're drilling. Like I said, they're drilling. You don't feel it really.
Very cool. And did you think that carried into the second half too? I mean,
for sure, especially the fact that we got the ball in the second half. I think that was just a great swing of momentum.
Sure.
So I think that's what really carried.
What was the message in the second half from Coach Leipold?
I
guess at halftime.
I'd say keep doing what we're doing. Keep saying our gaps. We're up. Keep playing defense. If we don't score, they don't score. We're gonna win the game. So keep playing defense. Keep doing what they're doing on offense. Get some momentum, and the offense helps the defense. Defense helps the offense.
It's been since UCF that you guys walked away off the field winning the game. I know that's not that long ago, but it might feel like a little while. How much did you guys need this one?
Man, I think we really needed just morale-wise. Yeah, it's great to have a win. Everyone wants to win, After coming off the last 2 weeks, it's been rough. But, we put our head down every week regardless of win and loss. We go back to the drama. We correct the mistakes. And, yeah, but, of course, everyone wants to win. Everyone's happy to win.
Sure. Thanks, man. Nice game.
Yeah.
Leeroy, defense holds them to, I think it was 72, 76 yards rushing. Just tell me, how were you guys able to do that?
And up front, man, shout out to the interior guys like Keenan and Tommy, everybody, DJ, Blake, and interior. We set the front, set violent edges at the ends and the linebackers, and really everyone. Team defense really what got us there. And yeah, hopefully that'll carry over next week.
All right, so you guys kind of settled down. Was there something you did different? Was there something, adjustment or anything that was made?
No adjustment, just do your job, man. We gotta keep saying in our gaps. When we have those little lapses, that's when those big plays happen. We can't have those. We gotta correct those. That's really what we talked about at halftime. Is every time we're giving them everything they got, pretty much. Everything, any yards they get, and someone missing their fit. So we gotta make sure we stay in the right spot.
How big is it to get a win and take that to Arizona with confidence?
Man, it's great, man. You just get some momentum, get the ball rolling in the right direction again, and let's get it carrying next week against Arizona State.
Marcus Calvin got his first sack. I mean, what was the atmosphere like on the sideline with him?
We were just happy for him, man. You know, everybody wants to be the guy to make the plays, but, you know, we all love each other in the room. You know, it's a team. We all got that sack and that, but we're happy for the guy, man, you know.
That's Leeroy Harris, really, really impressive guy, and excited for what his future is going to bring, not just for this season, but moving forward. Yeah. Dan, let's talk KU soccer. Teased it a little bit at the beginning of the show. 4-0 victory over number 19 West Virginia in the Big 12 tournament quarterfinals. Of course, KU went in as the 7th seed despite having a really good record overall. Yeah. But with the win, KU 13-4-3 on the season. 4 different Jayhawks scored in this one, and that's the most goals scored in a Big 12 tournament game in school history. Ties the most, I should say, with 4. Jayhawks also set 3 new Big 12 tournament program records: 13 points, 5 assists, and 14 shots on goal. Love that, especially since KU lost on senior day, and now they're going to get a rematch against the team they lost to against Colorado. But of course, they won the tournament last year in Kansas City. It did KU soccer, and they've now won 5 consecutive Big 12 tournament games going back to last season, outshooting West Virginia 22-7 and 14-2 shots on goal. Sophie Daw, 6th shutout of the season. That's the 14th of her career. She's at 52 saves, which is more than she had her freshman year here at KU. And yeah, now it's number 3, Colorado. That's going to be tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, as KU looks to punch a ticket to the championship game. So got to shout out KU soccer. Nate Lee, recurring guest on our show. Just a great program. 7 seed is still weird given the fact that their record is so good, but that's how strong the Big 12 is, and it's going to be a challenge when they take on the Buffaloes, but hopefully get some revenge, right, from the 2-1 loss to Colorado on senior day.
Yeah, 100%. And look, this KU soccer team, if you haven't gone and watched one of their games, you need to watch them because they're so much fun. They're so offensively minded. They do such a good job of controlling the time of possession that it feels like there's just constantly shot on goal after shot on goal. So it really is a lot of fun to watch these girls play. Also, some Big 12 awards were announced. Caroline Castans, Lexi Watts, Jordan Langfelder, and Jillian Gregorski all earn all Big 12 honors. It was announced actually earlier today. So really, really exciting stuff for these girls. Castans was also named Co-Scholar Athlete of the Year. So really exciting stuff for all of these girls to be named to the all Big 12 team. All well-deserved too, right? And, you know, they got a chance to take on Colorado, a team that knocked them off on senior night, right? So they're going to be going into this game with a chip on their shoulder, and I'm gonna put my money on the Hawks in this one.
It's going to be Baylor, the 5 seed, and BYU, the 8 seed, on the other side of the bracket. So that'll be fun. KU women's basketball also, they are getting underway officially tomorrow against Kansas City. That's going to be at 6:30, the 58th season for women's basketball. How about that, right? Hey, coming up after this, it's the 5 o'clock hour, a Top 10 Tuesday. Thanks for watching, KansasNation.com.
Hey, this is Cole Ballard, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com and ESPN Kansas City. 5 o'clock hour here. Sean Kellerman, Dan Courtwright. What a way to kick off the 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
Then a Top 10 Tuesday.
That's right. A Top 10 Tuesday. Sean, this is your idea. One of the better ideas you've had, which is
probably top 2.
Top 2 ideas you've had.
Top 10, I would say.
I'm racking my brain to think of any other good ideas you've had, and I just can't think of any. Anyway,
I was thinking about somebody, and I wanted to bring this up. I was thinking about somebody who, my wife and I have an event coming up, and I was thinking about someone who could be a really, really good public speaker, somebody who's comfortable in front of a microphone, and I just could not think of anybody.
Right.
So I had to ask you.
Yeah, that's right. That's very true. That's not even. Wait, no, you didn't. I didn't. Never mind. No, we'll get into this later.
Yeah.
Top 10 Tuesday. Top 10 So this is, and I'm glad that you brought this up. It's very topical. It is top 10 things that I would do the day after I got fired as a head coach, because there's so many coaches being fired in Power 4 or just college football in general as of right now, and we're only through week 9, is it? So a lot of guys either A, looking for jobs, or B, not wanting to look for jobs, which wouldn't necessarily blame them. So this is what I'm going to do. Top 10 things I would do the day after I got fired as a head coach, and then in parentheses, with a relatively large buyout.
Right. Which is fair, because if you
yes.
look at the buyouts from the coaches who have gotten fired, again, I don't know if Trent Dilfer was the lowest, but somewhere around 2 million is this the lowest, and Dilfer was around
that. Would
He
still
got fired
change
from
my
UAB.
life tremendously.
Yes, but then there's the James Franklins of the world. Billy Napier's getting a nice check.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you have some money. You'll be comfortable.
Yeah. I'll be fine. I'd be fine with $2 million. So let's go ahead and kick it off with number 10. Number 10 on my top 10 things that I would do if I got fired as a head coach, the day after I got fired as a head coach. Have a garage sale with all my old team's stuff.
That's smart.
So Andy Reid did this actually with the Philadelphia Eagles. Did you know
Right?
this? Yes, which is very hilarious because what shirt size do you think Andy wears? Triple? I mean, this got to be 3X, right? Which, granted, it was Philadelphia, so there probably are a relatively healthy amount of people who wear triple X's, but still, it's very fun. Like I would have gone there and should be like, oh my god, I got a shirt that
There's
Andy Reid coached.
Probably also a relatively healthy amount of relatively healthy people. So
also that
we should throw that
also
out there
that.
as well.
Also that, yes, very true. But yeah, Andy, I like Andy did that. That kind of sparked it. I was like, oh, that's because what is he gonna do? Wear Eagles stuff around his house while he's the coach of the Chiefs? No, of course
but
not.
you probably
right?
give them to your. You probably give them to your family, right?
But
yeah, if you're a size that maybe isn't incredibly mainstream, then
so I guess I could probably change this to give it to Goodwill, right? But also I'm a fan of pageantry. I think it would just be a very funny look to have James Franklin outside of his house selling all of his Penn State gear. Like that would be so funny.
Like
that would
sipping coffee.
Yes,
sipping coffee in a lawn chair.
He's got like one of those old beat up like cash boxes.
Yeah,
I'm like sitting right beside him. he's like haggling with people. He's like, no, I said $5 firm. I'm not going to take 4.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know you get those stickers from the Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
50 cents.
God,
yeah, 25 cents.
It would be so funny. It'd be so funny. Yeah, all right, I'll give him to Goodwill. But I think having a garage sale would because what do you? I don't know. Like, do you think that Les Miles or a good one would probably be NFL coaches? Like, do you think Andy Reid has any Philadelphia Eagles stuff at his house that he wears around?
Not that he wears. Yeah, I mean,
no way, right?
Way. No,
there's no way.
Especially they just beat us in the Super Bowl. So
right. Yeah. Well, that's also true.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my number 10. Number 9 on this list for top 10 things that I would do the day after I got fired as a head coach. Just go on a vacation.
Yeah.
Just
do the one-way ticket to Thailand, man. The Cliff Kingsbury special.
Kingsbury, exactly. I don't know about Thailand. I've heard it's great. I heard it's beautiful over there.
Would you buy a round trip or would you buy one way?
I might go one way.
Yeah.
I mean, and just worry about getting back later. Because your schedule's clear. You know what I mean?
I think
you don't have to do any radio hits. You don't have to do any team meetings. You go one way and you go, I'll figure it out when I'm coming back while I'm there.
It has to be such a freeing feeling.
Oh man, could you imagine buying a one-way ticket? That's like a blues song. It's fantastic.
He did it right, man, because he got canned and now he came back. And obviously the Washington football team had a great year last year and they've had all sorts of injuries this year. But he's in a good spot.
That's tough.
But I really would like to know what he did. I mean, you buy the ticket.
I have a feeling I know what he did, and I don't know if we can say it on the radio.
We're not going to say it. We're officially on ESPN Kansas City.
That's right. But yeah, no, just hey, I've always wanted to go to Italy in the fall. I can't do anything in the fall.
I'm too much of a homebody. I would play it a little bit safer. I would go to
Hawaii,
Eudora.
Eudora?
No, I'd go to a beach somewhere.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
I'd go to a warm weather.
Yeah,
it would have to be California.
So,
Henry could show me around, or Florida.
The reason that I think I would go out of the country is because then I wouldn't have people bothering me.
Yeah.
Because
That's
right,
true.
like
That's true.
if you're like an NFL head coach, let's say, and then you take a trip to
Even
like,
Hawaii,
Florida,
yeah.
or something, like there's going to be like some Miami Dolphins fans going up to you and be like,
Right.
oh, whatever. Go somewhere, go to London or Italy or Spain. Travel the
Not
world.
that they wouldn't
where
recognize you, but it'd be
people-
less.
It would
less
be less
likely.
Yeah, less likely, and people would be less likely to, talk trash on you, I guess. Number 8 on my top 10 things that I would do the day after I was fired as a head coach is I would reply to boosters who were complaining about me beforehand and say thank you for the buyout.
Totally.
Wouldn't
I
that be
mean, you
great?
have to flex somehow.
Because I mean, every single college is like this. Like the top boosters, even not the top boosters, like guys who give like $100 a month, they'll email the head coach and be like, hey, you need to run more option or whatever. Like you need to do this or fire this guy or whatever. Like I would just go through my old email and just be like, hey man, I just want to say thanks for the buyout. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like thanks for the money. I really appreciate it. Because like, what are they gonna
Hope
do?
all is well. Like kill him with kindness.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to
don't
say
be mean.
appreciate you playing a part in me literally getting paid to not do anything.
Yeah. Thank you for sending my great grandkids to college.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. So go that far and be like, I mean, what can you do if you're like, well, I'm just glad he's not my coach anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
He's glad too.
Yeah. I'm also glad that I don't have to read your emails, but you telling me how to run my offense or whatever. Like get out of here. I think that's got to be number 1 on the list. And now granted you might have to have a few pops. That might be like the night of.
Yeah.
The night of kind of thing where you're sliding in the DMs of boosters being like,
Right.
hey man, thanks for the money.
Hey, made it to Thailand safely. Just want you to know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. Hey, I'm I just, I got some free time now. You want to go golfing or
Right.
It's on your dime because you are. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll pay, but technically you're paying because you're paying me. Oh man, yeah, that'd be a great one. Number 7, I would actually sit down. Well,
If you
okay.
say read a book again.
So no. And granted, it all depends on what day, right? You get fired. Like if you get fired on like a Friday or something, which that would never happen in college football. But like, this is, I guess, the weekend.
Billy Napier
Sit down
got
and-
fired essentially on a Friday.
Yeah.
They just didn't tell him.
Right.
Because then he went and won a game on Saturday.
That's right.
And he was fired. But yes.
But so for my number 7 on things that I would do the day after I got fired as a head coach, I would just sit down and actually watch football and like enjoy football because I can't imagine. And I went through this as a player, also as a radio guy, right? Where, and I'm sure you know this, if there's a game that's in line with Kansas, you can't really sit down and watch it.
Oh, no,
right?
not at all.
You can't. You can maybe keep an eye on the box score, right, or the game cast or whatever it may be. You can't really watch it. Like just to have a Saturday free, like the bye weeks are fantastic.
That's what I was gonna
for
say. Like
that.
we hate bye weeks on our show because we
Yes.
want to be previewing a game. But when it's Saturday at 11 a.m., it's like, man, I got nothing but television
Yeah.
sets in my future.
And I have no stake in it. Like I can watch Toledo play Kent State.
Yeah.
And like who cares? Like it's fine. Or I can watch other Big 12 teams or what. Like you can actually just like sit down and relax, maybe, crack open a beer and just enjoy it. You know what I mean?
hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you can actually enjoy it because
maybe crack open a beer while watching football. I'll look into that.
Yeah, right. You should look into that. Not saying that coaches don't enjoy their jobs. I'm just saying that there's a different aspect of it where you can turn into a fan again, which I think is an important thing.
Totally.
Let's see, where am I? Number 6 on my top 10 things that I would do the day after I got fired from a head coaching spot.
Which might be
is-
the longest name of any top 10
I think
ever.
it is. I know. Let's go top 10 longest names of top 10.
Next time we'll do top 10 colors.
Right. Yeah. Number 6 on this list is I would post on LinkedIn #open4work.
Oh man.
That is by the way, that's one of the funnier.
Is it open for or open to?
It might be open to work. I can't remember
yeah.
if it's open to or open for work.
Yeah.
I used to work with a guy
And Dan.
who like he was fully employed at our office, right? Was on LinkedIn all the time. And you'll see this sometimes on their profile picture. They have like a filter on it and it says like open to work or open for work or whatever. And it's like, you're employed right now. Like, what if your boss sees that? Like, you're actively like,
True.
hey,
That is strange.
I
just
am
assumed
open.
everybody was unemployed.
Because it's so funny because it opens it up to everybody. You're not like individually going and like applying for jobs. You're saying anybody who has a job I will take it. While I'm fully employed and my boss is on LinkedIn.
Just don't tell my boss.
Yeah, I thought that was the funniest thing in the world. But I think that's a good joke. Like I would appreciate that joke, right? If I'm a fan of a school and the coach got fired and they go on social media or LinkedIn the next day and be like, "Hey, open for work, who's hiring?" Like that's a good joke.
So
you know what I mean?
So you would put that on. So mainly just from the.
Yeah,
mainly just for the joke side of things.
Yeah, and that's how I live my life. Is just all for the bit.
It's all a joke.
Yeah, I live my life for the bit. I think it'd be fantastic though, wouldn't that be? I mean, just to see James Franklin's LinkedIn say open for work, hilarious.
Yeah, that would be good.
Genuinely hilarious. Number 5 on this list of top 10 things that I would do the day after I got fired as a head coach. Watch a diners, drive-ins, and dives marathon.
Man.
Because that's the perfect, I was actually thinking about this. That's the perfect show to watch the day after you get fired.
It is also the perfect show to watch in a hotel room. I don't know why. Like obviously Friends is going to be on at some point.
Yeah.
But my wife and I
Family Guy in a hotel room
have never even considered watching diners, drive-ins, and dives at home.
Mhm.
But if
Yeah,
we're in a
yeah.
hotel room, it's like, oh man.
I used to watch
Let's
diners.
go.
Me and my roommates, we used to watch diners, drive-ins, and dives in college, and it was awesome.
Yeah. And then you just get hungry.
What's another? We could probably do a top 10 like shows to watch in a hotel room.
Yeah.
And Practical Jokers is up there.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I don't think
Friends is obviously.
I've never really
top
watched
tier.
I've never really watched Impractical Jokers anywhere else other than hotel rooms. And every time I'm in a hotel room, I'm like, bam, Impractical Jokers.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. What else is there? I mean,
I think Family Guy is a
mostly
good
TBS.
one. Yeah. TBS, I think, is the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like old reruns of like Conan.
Yeah.
Just you're like, oh yeah, I'll watch
Late night
Christina
shows, another thing I would
Applegate.
never watch at home, but
You're right.
would. Yeah.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. That's classic hotel room stuff. But diners, drive-ins, and dives. It's the perfect mental reset.
Yes.
I guess, if you will, right? Because you're not thinking about anything hard, and then it also just kind of clears your mind of like, oh yeah, I did just get fired yesterday. You know?
right. And also, I want to eat that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you
Also-
run into one when you're in a hotel that happens to be the city that you're in.
You're like, oh.
Yeah.
Maybe
I didn't know I could fry my bologna that way.
Yeah, right. If I'm ever in St. Paul, Minnesota, I'll try this little diner out. Why not? You know,
Room service.
Diners, drive-ins, and dives that's the perfect one for.
It really is.
I'm pretty sure I've never been fired from a job, but I've had hiatuses where like I quit a job doing another job, and then it took like a week, and I'm pretty sure like the next day where I had nothing to do on like a Tuesday, I'm pretty sure I did throw on diners, drive-ins, and dives.
At one point, I left a job just because I think I was starting another job in like a couple months or a couple weeks down the road. So I had that dead period.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. It's great.
And it was like the weather is like what it is right now, just absolutely perfect outside. And I remember just driving over to like that TJ Maxx area here in Lawrence because it was kind of close to Christmas like it is now.
Sure.
And just kind of walking around and popping in, looking at the Christmas
Oh,
stuff.
that's so good.
I mean, I'm like, I got
I
nothing
live
to
by
do
there,
right
yeah.
now.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
No, trust me. That's like my Sunday activity.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were doing it at like 10 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Right, which
And
made
you're
it
like,
even
this
better.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so good. Yeah. God. Have you ever been fired from a job?
I don't think so. No.
Never been fired. Okay.
I don't think so.
I don't. Okay,
We're probably both forgetting
Yeah,
something.
I'm sure I am. I've never. Been
I will tell
fired
you
from
this:
a
if I've
job.
ever been fired, it never accompanied a buyout.
Right, of
So
course.
that's
Yeah, yeah,
noteworthy.
yeah. By the way, that's what we're doing. We're doing my top 10 things that I would do the day after I got fired as a head coach with a massive buyout. Number 4 on this list: go to the stadium and check if they've changed the locks yet.
Oh yeah,
I think that would.
does have to happen. There's a lot of doors. You have
Lot
access
of
to.
lot of doors. I mean,
What do they do? Does somebody have to come to your house and take your credential away?
That's the thing. I don't know. I mean, it's just, if you're a head coach, like people,
Yeah,
and
you
get
don't need- you're
fired,
not wearing
people
a
are gonna
credential.
know. Like the doorman's gonna be like,
Remember
you
Saban?
shouldn't be here.
Saban the year after he left Alabama, like somebody stopped him at Alabama because he wasn't wearing a credential.
Oh, that's
And
so
isn't
funny.
that great?
That's great.
Yeah.
That's so good. Yeah, I mean, you think like we worked at a job where they fired a couple people and then the next day they changed the keypad.
Yeah.
But then multiple people since then had been fired, and they never did that again, which I thought was weird. But I bet at like NFL stadiums or like college, like it's like a thumbprint maybe. So they probably just go into the database and take your thumbprint out, or maybe like a key fob. But also, like, what if you just don't give your key fob back? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they'll change it. They'll change it. They'll make sure.
Right? I still have actually, funny enough, I still have a key to one of my old jobs as a bartender.
Yeah.
I've never used it. I just forgot to give it back, and it's on my key ring right now.
Does it still work? Do you think?
I don't know. I would love to check it out.
One day somebody's going to come in and say, "Hey, we got 4 bottles of whiskey missing."
Yeah, right. No, I would never do that. I just like I the only reason I would ever do it is out of sheer curiosity.
Yeah.
Like I would want to go.
You feel like you have the power
and see
still.
if it works, and then like I would leave immediately. Like I wouldn't like rob the place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, how quickly do you think? How quickly do you think that would happen? Like it's got to be that day.
If they're
they
smart,
change the
they'd have a
laws.
plan already. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Number 3, my top 10 things that I would do the day after getting fired as a head coach is I would watch 2016, 2017 Frank Mason highlights.
You have that on here again.
I do.
I was just calling you out for this.
It's
okay.
one of my favorite things in the world.
I do have a problem.
And it puts me in a better place.
I do
just
have
got
a problem
fired for
with
my
this,
job,
though.
Sean.
I have a problem with this, though. You literally are up to 3 different TVs right now.
Mhm.
So you've got Frank Mason highlights, you've
Yes.
got diners, drive-ins, and dives,
Yes.
and you've got football, watching football.
Correct.
That's tough. That's tough. I
Yeah,
guess if you spread them all out,
Sean, here's the thing.
you could watch diners, drive-ins, and dives from like 9 to 11 in the morning.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing. I got all the time in the world.
I know. And if Hawaii's not playing, then you're good at midnight to start watching Frank Mason
But
highlights.
then here's the beautiful thing. I can turn off the football whenever I want.
Right, that's fine.
I don't have to.
Just get 3 TVs.
Yeah, like I want to watch Hawaii play at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. Who doesn't?
Yeah. But I'll you know, I think I have all the time in the world to do whatever I want, and I have all the money in the world. You think I can't afford 3 screens?
I know.
With a
I'm just
$54
saying.
million
You've only got 2
buyout?
eyeballs. That's the thing.
That's fine.
Yeah. You're
That's
gonna
fine.
have to take shifts. if
What?
you're
You
doing
never
this.
watched a quad box before?
I love a quad box. I do, but I mean, I
You're a
guess
red zone
I guess
guy.
if you have one of them, if you have 2 of them muted,
Yeah.
then you're fine.
I think you turn the volume on diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Yeah.
And then you have football on one.
Yeah. You don't need the
and
volume
then
for
Frank Mason
Yeah.
highlights on the other.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do
Do you have any more in your top 2? Top 2, are there any more TV related things?
no screens?
Okay, good.
No screens.
No screens. All right.
So number 2.
Give us number 2.
Is golf.
Yeah.
I was just golf.
Had to be on there.
Had to be, right? I mean, that's what Greg Marshall
The Hugh
did.
Freeze tea time would have been so much funnier if it was flipped.
I know.
Seriously, like I was
That was
thinking
so
that
good.
story was he found out he was fired.
Well, it was the Alabama University Country Club.
Auburn.
Or Auburn, sorry.
Auburn University
Auburn
Country
University
Club.
Country Club. So I think that they might have just like kicked him out.
Yeah, it would have been funnier if it was like a community golf course.
Yes.
And
that would have been very funny.
he had like booked a tea time for 11 a.m. on
Yeah.
a Tuesday.
That's
and
so
they're like,
great.
why is Hugh Freeze here? Doesn't he have
Right.
a job to get to?
I
but
want to
yeah.
check somebody out there. Check Auburn tea times around Auburn, Alabama, and see if Hugh Freeze is on there this Saturday. I bet you he will be.
Yeah.
I
can see
guarantee
it.
you he will be. Right. Yeah, but I go golfing like that. Again, I talked about this on the show before. That's why that's the only thing I want to clarify this. The only thing I've ever respected about Greg Marshall is the fact that after he got fired from Wichita State, disappeared. He is still living in Wichita.
Didn't have any interest. Went to
Just-
a Final Four. Didn't have
Mhm.
any interest in coaching again.
No, absolutely not. And that's the way to do it, folks. That is the way to do it.
James
if you
Franklin,
ever find
take
yourself,
notes.
Yes, take notes.
See, it'd be tough though. It'd be tough for James Franklin to not take another job, which he ultimately
Right.
will get offered one because then you're getting double.
Also, it would be a little tough to stay in the same city, I think.
Oh, totally.
Wichita, I guess, is big enough. It's probably bigger than wherever Penn State is, right? I think.
I don't know.
It's the second, or
Yeah.
it is the biggest city in Kansas.
See,
technically,
I always
right?
get confused with population because it's like, oh, that's just the metro area.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
Well, that includes the suburbs.
Yeah, does
I'm
that
like,
include Andover?
like,
and-
okay,
and
how many people live here?
Mulvane And, yeah,
Right.
right. Yeah. You know, I don't know what it is, but yeah, it would be tough to stay in that. So like, you probably have to move. I don't know, wherever I don't know where Greg Marshall was from initially. Like, just move back there, and then disappear.
Former Winthrop legend, Greg Marshall.
Winthrop.
Remember the success they had? They were a fun 12 seed to pick and
That's
upset in
awesome.
a bracket. All right,
Shout out
drum
Greg
roll.
Drum roll. Top 10 things that I would do the day after I got fired as a head coach. Number 1, obvious. Sleep in.
Sleep in golf, 1, 2.
Sleep in.
Yeah.
Well, I would sleep, yes, but I'd sleep in. I wouldn't wake up. I wake up at 11 o'clock.
Whoa, I wouldn't go there. I'd say 10:59.
Okay.
10:59.
Yeah, let's not get too crazy.
You got to be up before 11.
No,
yeah,
but that's the thing. You don't have to be because you have nowhere to go. Because you're jobless. You're unemployed. You're fired.
I have only been on sabbatical a few times. Like I said, I distinctly remember walking around TJ Maxx.
Yes.
Which I keep going back to that. Perhaps they want to do business with us. I mean, I've dropped their name twice.
Of course.
Shout out TJ Maxx.
Shout out.
But yeah, I mean, I get to, you know how I am, man. In between every break, I've said this many times, I'm up doing something in between every break.
You are.
I don't sit here. I'm
That's fair.
messing around with that. I think I'd go too crazy. Got to have something to do. Granted,
but
I could do it.
you're-
I could do it for like a week. Like if I have a Monday and I know that the next Monday I'll be back to work, I will have no problem kind of milking it that week.
Oh,
but if I
that's what you
don't
gotta
have
do?
something lined up and I'm not getting paid a massive buyout, I'm gonna be a little fidgety.
My fiance just took a staycation.
Nice.
Where she took an entire week off work. Well, she went to Grand Tetons for 3 days, and then the next 5 days of work after. So I'm trying to figure out how she did this. She went to Grand Tetons like Thursday through Sunday, and then Monday through that Saturday, she took the entire week off, and she just hung around, and it was just like a nice little palate cleanse.
There you go.
If you will.
Staycation.
For I have a couple of honorable mentions. I would delete my resume. Just delete it.
Yeah, don't need it.
You don't need it. You don't need it anymore. James Franklin, you do not need a resume, sir. Greg Marshall, I guarantee you that guy doesn't have a resume. Why would he? Why?
He's got money. He don't need one.
Absolutely. And then I would call into my local radio show.
Yes. Oh my God, that's so good. Wearing your sweatpants with your backwards hat on. Yeah.
Just be like, you guys want the real scoop? Like, I think that'd be hilarious.
I think only thing for me that came to mind, I would buy a new car. I mean, I love my wife's Jeep that I drive
You
all the
do?
time.
You
I
love that
absolutely
Jeep,
love
don't
it.
you?
It never has anything wrong with it. It's always really clean. Doesn't cost me any money just to put a Band-Aid on it. I would totally buy a new car. I'd be like, I mean,
course.
I mean, you have this money coming either way.
Yeah.
So it's like, I got to celebrate something. Let's get a new tricked out car.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well. But granted, if you were a head coach of a college football team, I would hope that you weren't driving that Jeep anymore.
I know,
already.
but I mean,
like,
you know,
already.
a third, fourth, or fifth car is going to hurt me with that much money.
Of course,
I mean, who
right?
knows?
Yeah, you get a lot of money coming in the buyout.
Top 10 Tuesday here on Rock Chalk Sports. After this, we're going back to the podium post-game KU basketball. Flory Bidunga and Melvin Council as the Hawks won in a big way last night over Green Bay. That's next here on Rock Chalk Sports on ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com.
I'm Justice Finkley. You're watching kansasnation.com. Rock Chalk.
Career high in points last night for Flory Bidunga. He had 23 to go along with 6 rebounds, 3 blocks. He was, as Coach Self would say, great. Also, Melvin Council Jr. continues to be solid and showcase his speed, athleticism. Let's hear from Flory and Melvin postgame.
All right, got microphones.
Melvin, when you got introduced last night, the student section began barking, and they did that throughout the game. What's your opinion on that? Your thoughts?
I love it. I didn't know what they was doing at first, and then my teammates told me to bark at them back, and I didn't want to, and then I kept doing it, so I just barked back, and I just love it.
Before your career high tonight, you were comfortable out there. At least, how did it feel, and what was working well for you?
Obviously, watched a bunch of film, about past game and stuff, and then, just want to get better. And then I think me playing to my athletic ability would help me tonight.
And I guess for both you guys, there was a moment in the second half where Cole hit a 3. It seemed like you guys were really happy for him. What was going through your mind at that point, and why was that such a big moment, I guess?
It was a big moment because we know he can shoot the ball very well. And, he's been off a couple games, but I keep telling him to shoot the ball. And once I gave him an assist and he knocked it down, I was happy for him.
Flo, did you have any intent tonight on starting fast or maybe bringing it a little differently than you did in the exhibition games? Was that on your mind at all?
Again, just was trying to play to my athletic ability. I watch films about a couple games and how I need to improve, and then I think it worked out pretty well.
And for you guys, team-wise, defense, how'd you feel that went tonight? Obviously, you guys are fast in transition. How'd you feel you got up and pushed the tempo tonight?
Oh, I feel very good. coaches want me to be aggressive and play to my ability of speed, and I got that advantage on any team with my speed. So once I open up for Flory, DP, Cole, Trey, everybody.
Anything else for the players?
Just either one of you talk about playing with Darren and how easy it is, how easy he makes it look.
You know, he's a great player. We all know that. You know, just him getting down his head, you know, up and off his feet like for so much. You know, if we run in 2 men, me and him, 2-man game, you know, if my player just help a little bit, you know, I'll be open for the lap, and then I think he do that pretty good.
Melvin, you guys seem pretty happy for G too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
just how cool is it to see around this moment?
Oh, we know how hard he work in practice, and you know, me and G be going at it. Like I said before, that's the OG of the team. That's Papa right there. So we just get excited when he score and make the right plays and stuff, because in practice, he be killing us a lot. So when you get in the game and have that moment, we just be happy for him.
Melvin, what do you think of Flory getting his career high in the first game and scoring? I mean, it's a pretty good debut.
I think it was his braids. You know, he got a new hairstyle. I'm happy for him. You know, but like I texted him after the first game before Hayes. I texted him. I said, "I love you," right? He texted me back, say, "Love me," and I told him, "Next game, like we know what you can do. You don't got to prove nothing to nobody. We know what you can. Just play your game," and that's what he did tonight.
Flory, you talk about film a lot. How much do you watch?
I'm trying to watch as much as possible. You know, me and Case, then around it so much. You know, he really be helping me to just trying to get better, and then you know don't make the same mistake. So.
It's probably a little early, obviously, right after another game, but how amped up are you guys to go out there and play at Chapel Hill against North Carolina?
We're really excited. I would say, you know, we have a lot to work on. You know, maybe pretty good crowd, and then just can't wait to see what we're made of.
Melvin, you made no secret about how happy you are to be here. I know you played the 4 days game, but did tonight, where it counts for real, did it feel any different to you? Any different emotions, anything like that?
No, not really. The only emotion is this is gonna be my last game in a Allen Fieldhouse. That's the only thing. But other than that, you know, I'm the leader of the team. You know, so I gotta embrace that every day, every minute, every second. So I'm just happy for everybody.
And you said the other night it's better with Darren when he's out there.
Yeah.
Tonight he shut it down the rest of the 15 minutes of that game. I know the score was in hand, but does that worry you guys at all when he's sitting and you don't maybe exactly know why or what's going on over there?
No, not at all. You know, we got a good bench, so we know what to do when he sit out and stuff, and just get a rest and come back in. So we know what to do.
Anything else?
KU basketball 1-0. They've got a tough non-conference slate. Of course, North Carolina on Friday. They've got Duke 2 weeks from today, Madison Square Garden. They've got UConn coming to town. Got 3 games at the Players Era Festival in Vegas. So it should be a fun non-conference season. And then you've got that other team on December 7th at T-Mobile Center. Got to win that one. That one's particularly important.
Yeah. I don't know. We've talked about this before. I hate that it's not on a campus.
Yeah,
this
it's
year.
done. It's done. We got 2 more, and
It'll
just
be
got to
fun.
kind of run out.
T-Mobile Center's fun. That's a fun, like, gimmicky thing.
We just got to beat them.
Yeah.
We just got to beat them here, and then we get them again at T-Mobile next year, and then who knows what the series will happen after that.
Right.
But, you know, we're disappointed we lost last year. KU 3-1 in the 4 games since they brought this back. If you win both at T-Mobile Center, which we think you should, then you're 5-1.
Yeah.
And if you said before the Border War series came back that they were going to play 6 games and KU goes 5-1, you'd say it's probably about right.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm okay with that.
That checks out.
I'm absolutely okay with that.
After this, we're going to hear from Lance Leipold. His weekly press conference was yesterday previewing Arizona. That's all next on Rock Chalk Sports here on ESPN Kansas City, KansasNation.com.
This is Daniel Highshaw, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com. Lance Leipold victorious on Saturday, homecoming for KU. Hawks are 5-4, 1 win away from bowl eligibility. And Coach Leipold met with the media yesterday.
on tape, Calvin really popped this week. How good was that for him, and how big was that to get that sort of performance from your offensive line as a whole?
Yeah, I thought the line as a whole, Calvin played well. Calvin had probably his best game in at least a while, maybe of the year. Kobe played really well, had one of his better games. But yeah, we needed that. We needed that. Obviously, protected Jalen better, but obviously a lot more successful in the run game.
And then you guys had Nolan out there at tight end at times, including on the big fourth down run that Leeshawn had. When did you guys start working on that, and were you pleased with the way that went?
Well, after we lost Carson, obviously we had to look, a little thin at the position, so try to look at all options, different personnel groupings. It's been, we've tinkered with other guys at different times. Enrique did it when Nolan was more rotated with the one. So it's been in our package quite a bit since we've been here. Just kind of pulled it back off, dusted it off, I guess. And, I venture to say we'll keep using it.
It looked like Mikey Pauly was also warming up with the tight ends. So you just went into that.
That's a good observation. It's Mikey's been working at both positions probably at least a month now. He came to us and really admire what his attitude, his work ethic, and really the person that he is. And it's really refreshing when a guy comes and says, I think I can help this team in some way. Could I give it this could I look at this as an opportunity? And he's embraced the position of tight end. Obviously, getting a guy that's played quarterback his whole life, acclimated to blocking, and I would say it's almost like especially in the passing game, it's like a point guard all of a sudden having to go post up people. The game's opposite. You got to play with your back now to people. It's a little different, but he's done well, and he's a backup on a couple special teams units, and see where it takes us. I thought you liked the basketball reference with the opener too. So that was for Daniel Burke.
Hey, Lance, you like a lot of teams, chasing down that 6th win late in the season. You guys have a lot of players who've been through that here the last couple of years. I know you guys do one game at a time and take care of what's in front of you and all that, but is there anything you can learn or that can be gained from having been in that position before in the past where you're chasing 6 wins late in the season like that?
It gets to be a talking point, just like other things during the year. Get to be talking points that you guys all cover and write about. But again, it's still going out and preparing to win a football game each and every week, and they know what a 6th win will do, and we've got to do everything we can to try to make that happen this weekend against a really good football team on the road, and it's going to be a challenge. But again, the ones that have been here understand and what we've continued to strive through here, and I think our newcomers understood what they were walking into and things like that. So again, it's not a daily talked about matter. So I just don't know what that does other. We continue to stress preparation and everything that we do, and finding a way to get everything done without putting extra pressure on them.
In these last 3 weeks, is there one or two things that maybe you haven't seen as much as you'd like that you feel, okay, if we can tighten that up or deliver in that area or whatever it is, that gives us a real good chance?
Yeah, when you looked at last week's game, we had 2 penalties. I don't know the last time we had anything with the fewest amount of penalties since when, and we had a 3rd one that was declined, but not a lot of fouls called in the game period. But for us to play a game with 2 without any on offense is about as clean as I can remember of a team I've been a part of in a long time. Didn't turn the ball over, didn't punt, that's good. And we didn't create any. I like to, again, as we continue to work and improve and do things better defensively. I'm sure DK will talk about that too. The next thing is we've started making stops and progress, and we can get, start creating turnovers again and doing those things. I think we had one, of course, with the targeting call that prevented one. We would have had the ball there.
Since you mentioned the penalties, I guess I'll just ask. I don't think you guys have had an accepted defensive pass interference against you the whole year. But what do you make of that, and how do you interpret something like that when something that's usually a lot more common doesn't go against you guys?
We haven't had an accepted pass interference call?
No.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I was not aware of that. I don't know if that means that the ball's been caught while there's still been pass interference. I guess that'd be one thing that, if that's happened, that's usually what the case is, right? That if they would decline it, there's been a bigger gain that goes through it. But I don't know if I have a real thought on that. I haven't given that much thought if it's been accepted or not, because like I say, in order to decline a penalty, you're declining it because you've got a bigger gain on top of it, I guess.
Okay.
Sorry, am I answering it correctly?
No, that's fine.
What you wanted,
I wasn't sure what you would say. I just figured I'd mention it.
Plus, you caught me way off guard with something I haven't thought of. So
I don't know if that's a good thing on my part.
we could stay with Mikey Pauling moving the tight end.
I was just going to ask, first time having Arizona on the schedule, what have you seen from their program more broadly and this season specifically?
Yeah, that's also a good question. Is that we've, I think this will be the last. I think, we have Utah. We haven't played them. So to get, last year I talked about that we had those newer schools, the newer members of our conference, plus the people we didn't play the year before. There was a lot of newness in every week of what we were doing. To get Arizona and go to Tucson for the first time, I've always said it's always unique experiences and challenging ones to kind of see. Coach Brennan's done a great job in his second year of establishing his culture and expectations. You can see the improvement of their team, and again, that's a team that other than their trip to Ames, they probably feel they should be sitting maybe with one loss all year, double overtime to BYU's, top of the conference, and then a walk-off field goal against Houston. So they've played good teams. They played well on the road, I think as we met with the guys today, they understand the challenge.
Dan, what have you kind of seen on tape when you've watched Arizona's QB?
He's really good, really accurate. Even as they were joining the league and things, I know there was talk when their coach Coach Fish moved to Washington, whether or not he was going to stay or not, and how talented he was. Obviously, gets the ball out quickly, very mobile, extends plays when he has to. The accuracy part is what's really impressive, and now that they've kind of gotten a little better rhythm on things, you can see that they're clicking pretty well, and did it in Boulder Saturday night. So he's up there with the top in the league without a doubt with what and they use him really well. And the receiving core, like I said, there's a mixture of size and speed and quickness too. Not just guys that can run by people, guys that can make people miss after the catch and then accelerate, and that's impressive.
I'm curious, I know Brandon spent a lot of his time on the West Coast, but do you have much of a relationship with him, or what you kind of know about him?
Not really. Rob Iannello does. When Rob coached at Arizona, Brent was a grad assistant for him back in the day. Coach traveled with the Arizona basketball team here last March, I think it was, early March, I think the game was. Had a chance to visit with him a little bit there and then at our meetings, but I'll really respect him, really enjoyed the conversation, and a little bit I've gotten to know him.
I'm curious defensively, you guys have used a lot of the 3 or 5 man fronts. How do you weigh using those and being versatile with that to what you guys have done recruiting wise to the
it's a balance, and it's evolving, and we've kind of mixed and matched, and we continue to look for different body types, and you're probably referencing a guy like Dean Miller, who's more of a hand in the ground end, who's probably dropped a little bit more than he has in the past. But the guys up front, what we're doing is really what most of the country's doing now, and they're using some 3-man, 3-down stuff, and 4 down, mixing it in, trying to match personnel, doing different things. And again, as we continue to look at scholarship numbers, scholarship allotments, all those things will continue to evolve, because as you're saying, there's times we got 3 D tackles in the game, so you need depth there, but then we also play with 5 defensive backs and a nickel, so you need depth there. And we've already modified some of our linebacker numbers and what we're doing, but those are things that we're still assessing. I did better on that one than the pass interference call.
You got a couple coming up in a row here with the bye week in between. How have you felt about your team on the road this year? The way you prepared, traveled, executed, played, all those things.
Well, it's only been 3, and 2 of them are against top 20 teams in the country. So, I think, again, as we've looked at it, I said it to you all Saturday, winning a period is hard, okay? And winning on the road is even harder. So trying to get your team focused. And again, I think we've been consistent trying to put together travel plans, whether we change time zones or not, routines, all the things that you have to do. Just about the time now the weather's changing here, it's going to be warm there again, so you've got to make sure hydration and other things are important there. So I think we do a good intentional plan of what we try to do to get our team ready and go play in environments, and to go play at a place we haven't before. Not exactly sure what factors are there, crowd-wise, noise-wise, all the different things. But again, anytime you got to go on the road, you got to band together and go out and play your best football possible.
You mentioned possibly appealing the site's targeting call.
Yeah, we're going to.
Okay. Had you appealed any others earlier this season?
Yeah. It didn't work. we appealed one. We appealed Bengals. So I don't know. Like I said, you see stuff, you see replays. Be careful. But you see the one in the Ohio State Penn State game, and it's not target. I don't know anymore. I don't understand it. I understand though. The one thing I do understand, to make sure I'm clear, is it's still about safety of the player. And that being said, we've got to make sure that we have good target areas. We're doing things we want. The one about Saeed's that we first saw, he kept his, looked at us, his face was up as much as possible and things like that. So.
Hey Lance, I was looking at some of the numbers of Arizona's defense, and they've gone from like 105th to 15th this year. And some of is that easier to do with the portal now? Can you make that quicker? And what have you seen them from defense?
Yeah, they're impressive defensively, how they run around. Schematically, they're unique in a few things that they're doing. They're coming at you. They play downhill. Anytime you can, again, year 2 of a program, getting things kind of situated the way they want to do it, call it, and all those things can be a factor of what you're saying. But obviously, your gains can be made in the portal. Yeah.
Anything else for Coach Leipold?
That's KU head coach Lance Leipold earlier this week. On Rock Chalk Sports, the remainder of the week, we're going to hear from a lot of Jayhawks, DK McDonald and Jim Zabrowski, as well as both Calvins, Marcus and Clements.
Marcus Calvin is fantastic.
Oh my gosh, he was
guy.
awesome.
I asked him about the no barbell in the weight room.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, he was all excited to answer the question. It was fantastic, and it's 100% true.
That's
and
great.
he said he just did a lot of field work instead, basically.
Yeah.
So he was a lot of fun to talk to. Same with a lot of those other guys. Obviously Dean Miller's great. Which, by the way, coming up on the next edition of J School Jayhawks is going to be Dean Miller and Emma Noble.
How about that?
I know they're talking a little diet, talking a little. They did a game of wavelength.
They did a fun game of wavelength. Have you ever played?
I have.
Okay.
Yes. I do it a little.
We need
different.
to do that at some point.
So I do it a little differently with my friend. He thinks of a number, and then so a number between like 1 and 100. Sometimes we go 1 and 1,000.
Okay.
And then you ask a question of like, all right, well, give me a food combination, and then be like, all right, well, Texas Roadhouse rolls and ketchup. You're like, all right, well, that's relatively low.
Right.
It's just like weird stuff like.
You want to do one right now?
No, we'll save it.
I kind of want to do one.
We'll do it. How about we do it tomorrow?
We should do it tomorrow.
We should
we should do that instead of a draft one.
Thursday segment. Yeah,
maybe.
Let's do a Thursday segment.
That'd be
wavelength.
fun.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, no, I had never played. But anyway, yeah, J School Jayhawks. You'll find that soon on kansasnation.com. Lath Marjan as well, we heard from. So all sorts of Jayhawks coming up. Let's talk Chiefs football, though,
Yes.
Dan. If the season ended today, your Kansas City Chiefs would not be in the playoffs. They fell to the Bills 28-21. I know that we're not supposed to be concerned. Chiefs are 5-4. The problem is a lot of teams in the AFC, particularly the AFC West, have good records, better records than the Chiefs. And again, they wouldn't be in the playoffs. And yeah, they control their own destiny and all that, but kind of a weird, uncomfortable spot to be in.
Yeah, look, this is boring for sports talk radio because, in theory, you should be like, oh, sound the panic, hit the panic button, sound the alarms, everything's bad. Oh, no, the world's on fire. It's not. And I've said it time and time again, is that you cannot bet against Patrick Mahomes. I said it on Friday. We did our NFL game picks on Friday. I said the Bills are going to beat the Chiefs. It's not that I want the Bills to beat the Chiefs. I'm not rooting for the Bills to beat the Chiefs, but the Bills are going to beat the Chiefs. They do it every single regular season. And then what happens in the postseason? Chiefs beat the Bills. So Patrick Mahomes, it's abundantly clear that he is a postseason quarterback. Now he's obviously a regular season quarterback too, and he's number one. Well, he probably dropped from number one in the MVP race as of right now because of the game that he had against.
He's still comfortably number one.
Is? Okay,
yeah, plus 135.
He had a bad game. I mean, he went 15 of 34, not good, 250 yards. And
I was wrong. It is Allen now, number one.
It is Josh Allen now. Okay, yeah. So he went 15 of 34, 250. With no touchdowns and interception. I mean, that's just not what you're looking for, right? I mean, that you need to be better if you're Patrick Mahomes, especially because of the fact that you have Rashee Rice back on that roster, and we thought that Rashee Rice was going to be the answer, and he certainly was for those games that he was back in, right? He scored a number of different touchdowns through the air, also in the running game, right? Because he's such a versatile player. And you look at the receiving core that you have where Travis Kelce does not seem to be aging. He seems to be staying the exact same age that he is. I'm not hitting the panic button. It's impossible for me to, because I have learned throughout history that you just cannot hit the panic button when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. You cannot do it.
At some point, you're going to lose too many games.
I understand.
And you're going to have to.
Right, of course. They're 5-4 right now. Right. But, I mean, they were terrible in 23. Right, 23. They had a horrible regular season record.
11-6, I think.
Yeah, they 11.
Horrible by our standards.
Horrible by our standards, but still 11-6 is not good. It's not where you want to be, and that's certainly not a Super Bowl winning or Super Bowl even contending team. And they wound up winning the Super Bowl that year. They lost to the Raiders at home on Christmas. Ruined my Christmas. It ruined the rest of like the next month for me when they lost to the Raiders on Christmas. So, look. Looking at this roster with what you have, with Rashee Rice being back. Rashee Rice still had a great game, by the way. He had 80 yards on 4 receptions. Right. Hollywood Brown had a tremendous game, 73 yards. Travis Kelce played great. You have all of the pieces there. Isaiah Pacheco didn't play in this game, which I think is of note. You need to remember that Patrick Mahomes played his worst game that I remember in probably 3 years. They still had a chance to win at the end against a very good Buffalo Bills team, right? They had a chance they had 2 chances, I believe, at a Hail Mary to tie the game up. They only lost 28-21. Chiefs had the ball with 40 seconds left to go, and they drove down the field.
What a terrible decision by McDermott to kick that field goal, too.
Horrible.
What are you doing?
I know.
You want the football.
Yeah.
I mean, what a terrible decision.
Really dumb. The doink, that doink would have been the greatest doink of all time if Kansas City would have come back and won that game, because that was a loud doink too.
There are
it sounds like a gong.
There are 8 teams right now who are between plus 600 and plus 1100 to win the Super Bowl. The Chiefs, initially after the loss, were still the favorites. This is according to DraftKings, but now the Bills are the favorites at plus 600. The Chiefs are plus 650, and like I said, there are 8 teams. Rams, Lions, Eagles, Packers, Colts, and Seahawks, in addition to the Bills and Chiefs, who are in that plus 1,100 or shorter range.
Like, I'm not saying that I know better, but I'm saying, like, I've learned my lesson of don't count them out. It doesn't matter.
No, we're not going to count them out. We could panic without counting them out. That's
I'm
where
not
I'm
panicking.
at.
I'm not panicking. I'm
I don't
actually
like
super calm. I knew they were going to lose this game. They always lose to the Buffalo Bills.
I don't like
in the regular
that
season.
the Chiefs have a bye week now because we have to sit on this. After
Sure.
the bye week, Chiefs are at the Broncos, which is not an easy game, but Andy Reid
Tough.
is always very good after a bye week. And you look, and it's tough. You have at the Broncos, and then you have the Colts at home, but you feel confident because that's a home game. At the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, you got to think the Chiefs are going to outscore the Cowboys there.
Yeah.
But again, it's a road game. Texans at home, you need to win at home. Chargers at home, you need to win at home. At the Titans, they're terrible not to win. Then you get the Broncos again, but that's at home. You got to win that. And then you're at the Raiders. So finally, we've gotten to the point where, one or two games notwithstanding, the Chiefs are past the really difficult part of their schedule. So I think that's part of why we're more calm. And the fact that, like you said, we have Mahomes, we've got the track record. But there's definitely a way the Chiefs can still end up 12-5 realistically, but it might be after starting 5-5, depending on what happens at Mile High. So
Right. Yeah,
we'll see what
100%.
happens.
I mean, looking at this, like you have 3 games where I think you could really lose it, right? You can lose at Denver. You can lose, against the Colts, but that pumpkin is rotting fast. And then the Chargers, everything else, I'm going to chalk it up as a win. So I'm not panicking at all.
Well, we'll see. We won't have a Chiefs game this upcoming weekend, but should be a fun one at Mile High on November 16th. That's going to do it for Rock Chalk Sports today on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Big thanks to Elijah Schmidt running the operations. For Dan Courtwright, I'm Sean Kellerman saying we'll catch you tomorrow for more coverage. All you need. KansasNation.com, ESPN Kansas City.